Welcome to the Bostics, starring Lauren Bostic and Michael Bostic. Together, they are the Bostics.
Tell me the separations of the children again.
I had my first baby, Farah, at 19 years old.
Okay.
I was a mommy at 19.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Then I was in my 20s with the next one.
Okay.
And then I was 30 with the next one, and then almost 40 with the last one.
And you wish you squeezed 2 more in.
Yes, I do. I wish I'd had more in between, but Sophia was so difficult. Well,
She was.
Well, Farah, first of all, was so young, and then I had to wait, and I got divorced, and then I got remarried, so I had a window there where, obviously that's why there's that gap. But yeah, I wish I had more in between, but Sophia was challenging. I thought, okay, I guess I'm done. And then they get older and they go to school, and you're like, I can do this again.
I
And
know.
I'm someone who can handle a lot at once. Like I can have the kids and the dogs and like a lot, like happy chaos going on. I do well with that. So I really enjoy that. And I liked all of it, the pregnancy and everything.
You're going to be such a good grandma when they all have kids.
I know.
Like I could see
know.
them just leaving all the kids at your house.
Oh, get so scared that they're going to be like me because I never let anybody watch my kids or touch my kids. And I'm so worried that they're going to be
That's
like
us.
me.
Yeah, that's like us.
No, they went everywhere with me. I never had a nanny. I never had someone who drove my kids to school.
Wow.
So when I see, and by the way, that's not to shame anybody who does do that. People are working. There's working moms. I get all that. But like, I was just too OCD and too afraid. My anxiety didn't allow me to have anyone help me. But I'm so scared they're going to be like that and not let me take the baby.
They will. Especially, I
hope
know
so.
Farah will.
Well, I think because you're
Farrah
so
will be like, "Here."
hands-on and they know you can handle it, then they'll be more inclined to do it. Like if I leave my kids with my dad, I think he will forget that they're even there.
That me too.
Like, I know he will forget.
I worry. I'm already worried about how they're going to be as moms, even though I know they're going to be amazing moms. But I see, I used to go into the park with my kids. I loved it. And, I'm actually an introvert. So for me to go into the park with my baby alone, the two of us on a blanket and bring like a picnic and toys and talk. I wasn't looking at social media.
Yeah.
I was only
different.
playing with my children and like having that one-on-one time with them. And it was such a beautiful time. And I feel like that it really, affected who they became as, children and adults. And now I'm looking at these people and they're like, the stroller is closed all the way. They don't even realize the blanket's covering the baby's face. They're scrolling, looking at Instagram. They're wheeling the stroller. I'm like, pay attention. Like you need to talk to your child and like teach your child and like, communicate with them.
I'm screaming, get the EMF away from the baby's head. The baby's skull is way thinner than a human skull. You cannot put the phone by the baby's head.
I can't go down this rabbit hole with you again.
Just
for
saying.
the
Kyle is
millionth
agreeing
time.
a different way. She's agreeing. It's when I'm with my kids to get off my phone. I think it's important. She's
It's
right.
really
I
important.
agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree.
But back to what you said about the baby weight, you will never look back and think, oh my God. I mean, when I look back and think, I can't believe I was insecure about that. It's so stupid. And I see these women and they have like some extra weight on them from having a baby and they look so beautiful. I'm like, why do
You don't
we
feel
do that to
beautiful.
ourselves in
I
the
don't
moment?
feel beautiful with 60 pounds on me. You don't.
You don't. But when you look back one day, you're going to think, why did I feel like that?
Okay, maybe. I mean, listen.
I know you feel like this in the moment, but I'm just telling you, I mean, and you're so gorgeous. This always tell my kids and myself too, that when I feel insecure about being in a bathing suit or something, like one day we're going to wish we look like this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Great advice. Okay, so I have been a fan of you pre-Housewives.
Thank you for that.
Yes. There's a whole career that
Yes.
happened. Little House on the Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
Loved
My
that
first
show.
TV series, yeah.
Okay. And also, I just finished Melissa Gilbert's book. And then I think she actually wrote about working with you. I want to say she did.
Yeah, I'm sure because I started that series when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
So little. And then you also I saw you, this is so random. I remember seeing you grown up on like an True Hollywood special for Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
and
looking
Nikki,
at
yeah.
you and being like, she's so beautiful. And I kind of like followed you. I don't know how. And then you appeared on Housewives and I was so excited.
That interview actually led to the Housewives. And it was weird because, like you said, I started out as a child actor since I'm little. I mean, my first TV series, I was 5, but I'd already been working before that even. So I was like 3 and 4. And then I went on to do movies from there. My first movie was at 5 years old. Then I did like scary movies, Halloween when I was 7. And, started like,
Did you know that? Did you know she's the little girl in
I
Halloween?
didn't realize that, but obviously I've seen the movie a million times.
And-
And now I got to like go back and look at it.
that was
And
me.
Kim was in the Witch Mountain one.
Escape to Witch Mountain,
Yeah.
Return to Witch Mountain. So I'd done that my whole life. And, that was my career. And I feel like a lot of people do realize that, but some people don't realize that too.
Another thing I find so interesting about you is your mother was such a strong force, it seems like.
She was.
She seems like she had a real personality.
She was really strong, really tough. Aries, Irish, fire across the board. And when I look back now, like she was a single mom. She and my father were separated when I was like 3 years old or something. And she had a lot of pressure on her with her daughters. So, she had to be tough, and she didn't want us to ever, be scared, and she wanted us to be independent. So she was trying to be a good role model to us. And in doing that, she was extra, extra tough, which I don't know if it really helped.
But you guys all have this funny personality. Is that from her? Like
my mom was really funny.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You said on the show that Kathy would set up a store. You have to tell this story.
So when we were little, and Kathy was the oldest. So when she was like, say, 15, Kim was 10, I was 5. And Kathy, my mom would let Kim and I have our unemployment checks when our shows were on hiatus. And we would go and like get our little unemployment checks. When I think back to that, it's really weird. I remember the man at like the candy stand at the unemployment place. And so Kathy knew that we would have cash, and Kathy was like always wanting to buy things and spend money. So she would set up a store in the house, and she would go around the house, and my mom collected like Baccarat and La Ligue and all these little things that we were not allowed to touch. And she would say, there's a sale starting in 10 minutes. And Kim would go, and she had lifted up the corner of the carpet and hid her money under the carpet, and it was lined up. And Kim would like wash it and iron it. Oh no, that's not good. But so she would get the money, and then we'd go to the sale. And
fake sale.
We would buy all these things that we were so excited we would get to buy and keep. And then my mom, of course, would come in and scream, who took all of this from the living room, and take it all back. But by then, Kathy had already spent all the money.
So she actually took the money from you and then spent it at other places.
Uh-huh. Yes, she did.
This is like, these are big personalities for kids to be around. Your mom must have had a big personality.
She had a very big personality. And then Kim and I had a car washing business.
Okay.
That even though we were on TV series, we didn't think about that at the time. Like that we're like rolling up these people's homes. Like, do you want us to wash your car for $5?
They're like, aren't you the girl?
Yeah, but we weren't thinking about that because we didn't think about being on television. We just thought we were like, we just wanted to be normal people. And we would like wash their cars and leave the soap on and like get in trouble from the neighbors.
So did your mother push you into acting, or was that a pursuit of your own?
No, my mom actually did. And I'm actually really grateful she did, because my mom studied at the Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York.
Okay.
And then she was also a very young mom. And then, she was wheeling Kathy in a stroller through New York City. That's where they all are from. And people were stopping her on the street. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. She should be modeling. So my mom put Kathy in modeling, and then it became commercials. And then Kim came along, and then it was the same with Kim. And then Kim did like a carpet commercial, crawling on the carpet, 6 months old.
Wow.
So my mom was kind of living vicariously through her kids and moved everyone to Hollywood.
She was like the original Kris Jenner.
Yeah, literally. And Kris and my mom were very close, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then I was born, in LA. And then my mom was like, well, Kyle's the shy one, and I don't want her to be left out. Her sisters are, on these TV shows, because Kathy was also acting.
So did it push you out of your comfort zone to not be shy?
It did. From my mom, it was two things. It was she didn't want me to be left out because my sisters were working like that. And because I was shy, she thought it would help me overcome my shyness. But I thought every audition was a doctor's office. So I would have a panic attack on top of being shy.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not really sure why. I think they had a white jacket on the first one or something, and it like traumatized me.
You like remember it feeling like a doctor's office.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When you got on E for that special, how did Housewives approach you from that?
So yeah, they asked me to do that interview, and then it became like somehow I became the spokesperson for our family. Because Kathy, felt uncomfortable to talk and whatever. So she said, can you talk to Greta Von Susteren, like Barbara Walters?
But
I was always the one talking
you were
to people.
good at it.
I was good at it.
Yeah.
I was comfortable, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So then I ended up in that role, and then I did that True Hollywood story about Paris and Nikki, actually. And then someone saw it, casting person from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they reached out. And I was like, I don't want to do reality television. I'm an actress, and I don't want to do that. And I had taken some time off because Portia was just born.
That's right. She had just been born.
Just been born.
So what makes you decide to pull the trigger on Real Housewives? Do you watch the OC one?
Well, I started watching because it was on hold because they kept saying we don't have a green light yet.
Okay.
And in the meantime, do you have any friends? And I'm like, putting together like a little group, helping them. While I was waiting to hear if we got greenlit, because they didn't think, if you have OC, why do you need Beverly Hills? And I was like, well, if you have New York, why do you need New Jersey? Hello.
Right.
There's a big difference here.
Big difference.
So I started watching some of the shows, but I was like, oh, that's different for them. I wouldn't be fighting with anybody. I'm just going to be home with my kids and playing and having fun. And my kids are so cute. Who wouldn't want to see my kids? I did not know what I was getting myself into.
If you did know what you were getting yourself into, like say you now is giving you advice then, what would you say?
I would still have done it.
You would?
Yes. I mean, there's been times, of course, I would probably give you a different answer, but sitting here today, yes. I mean, I would do it again.
So even though through all the challenges and all the ups and downs and all the fights, if you could, you'd still just, there's something about it that you just love.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's something about it that I just love. I appreciate and I acknowledge the things that it has done for me.
Yeah.
It's opened a lot of doors, for me, for producing. I just started my production company, House of 18. And, that was how I was able to produce American Woman. And I have 2 shows in development right now. And 2 others that are about to go into development. So that all happened because of Housewives. And people literally would say, oh, they want to meet you because they're a fan. And then I'd meet them and tell them stories. And like, oh, we want to make that show. And I was like, oh, this is how I'm going to do this. I can come up with my ideas and like sell a show. If they want to meet and talk, because they're a fan, then I'm going to turn this into something else because I don't want to be doing this forever. And that's what I love to do, is to create.
I've talked to a lot of people off air because we have similar makeup, hair. Chris and Karina.
Karina and Chris right here.
Yes,
that's
right
why
here.
we look like clones today.
I know we look like clones. Can you tell? We have the same makeup and hair.
Yes.
But I talked to a lot of them and they just say the nicest things about you. And they said, I've heard this from multiple people, that when you go to BravoCon, you are like Oprah. Like if you're like the most famous housewife out of everyone. And I've heard this not just from them, from multiple people, that people
It goes nuts when you go there.
Crazy.
Well,
what is it? I mean, I know what my own opinion, but what do you think it is that makes people go so wild for you? Like you're like this rock star.
I mean, it is so strange, I have to say, going to something
I'm
like
sure.
that. But I think, well, first of all, I'm the longest consecutive running housewife in the history of the whole franchise of all across the board.
Okay.
So I've been there the longest.
So they feel like
and
they
I've
know
never
you.
left. And I've never been put on pause or fired.
So 15 straight, no breaks,
15,
no pause.
breaks. I've never called in
Wow.
sick.
Woo.
I've never canceled an interview.
Wow.
I've never not shown up. Last season, not this season, I walked off in the middle of filming and was like, goodbye. But other than that, that was my, I think honestly is, a lot of comedians who like their shtick is to make fun of us or impersonate us. They will always say to me, you're so difficult to do because you're actually a real person. And, I think a lot of not to, shade anybody, because what I'm about to say may sound like a shade, but it's also what makes them great TV. But they're caricatures. They're characters. They really are.
This is the headline of this. That's the.
I know.
That's
Kyle
that's
Richards calls every housewife a cartoon character.
That's what'll happen.
Of course, that's what's going to happen. But a lot of these people I'm saying are like caricatures. I adore, but like I said, it makes great TV. But I am actually, in spite of doing what I do, I'm a very normal, real person.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, maybe that's why. I have no idea.
Well, it seems like, the only way you've probably been able to sustain that long and that consistently is by being yourself. We talk about it even in the context of this show because we've done it for a long time. It's like it's a lot easier to just show up and just be who you are and just talk as opposed to trying to like curate a person or experience. Like I think the people that do that, it starts to fall apart over time.
And I see that all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And when I see that, I'm just like, oh God, I can't. I'm willing to make mistakes and, because that's part, it's life, if I'm being real, I'm going to have great moments. I'm going to have bad moments. But when I see someone coming in with an agenda and this persona they want to project, and I just see right through that. It is painful for me to sit through.
I
Painful.
can tell when you find it painful. Do you know as a viewer? I can tell, and I'll tell you off air. I can tell when you can't. As a viewer, because I feel like I know you. And I think that as a viewer, the reason, and I'm a Housewives practitioner, is because I think people see themselves in you. And what I mean by that is like, we've all had drama with our sister. We've all had stuff with our significant other. You're a mother. It's very easy for me to pull moments throughout all the seasons you've done where I can relate to it.
Right.
That's
well,
what I
maybe
think
that
it
goes-
is with
I
you.
think it's being relatable. Yes, I think I do hear that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I think that probably it has a lot to do with it. And I think when Beverly Hills first started, they thought this is going to be the most fake, phony of all the franchise. And all of a sudden they're like, wow, these are real people with actual real problems. I mean, season 1, it was, you know, it was stuff with my sister and dealing with her alcoholism and all that. That was, you know, we were trying to keep under wraps. And then it was Camille with her divorce, and then what Taylor was going through. And, you know, people expected us to be fake. And all of a sudden, like, oh, these are actually real people.
Right.
But since then, you know, I watched people come in pretending to do certain businesses and try just the facade. I can't, and I'm not going to be mean, contrary to what people may like to say. You know, I'm not a mean person. I will never hit below the belt. The things I could say that are going through my mind sometimes, which I'm sure people wish I would say, but I'm not there to hurt anybody or ruin their businesses or, you know, their marriages or anything like that. But I'm like, give me a break, but I will have to call you out if you're.
We can see it on your face.
You could say that. You could say what you were thinking here on the show. Nobody will.
No,
nobody
no.
will pick it up.
All you have to do is watch the show. You could see it. If you could see it on your face that you're like, oh my God. Certain
mean,
scenes.
I just can't. I mean, sometimes I just laugh. I'm like, I don't know. You know, they're just coming on there to, it's different now because people are coming on to start a business, or, you know, and I literally was there just showing, I was just like, this is my life. I wasn't, I'm not there selling anything. I'm not plugging anything. I'm just like living. And then people come in and like, oh, you know, they've watched all these years and they're fans of the show.
Right.
And it makes them interact
I
differently.
couldn't do it. I could never do
But
Housewives because I
from
know
what
the
you've
game.
Seen, like, what's the
You know
percentage?
you know it.
What is the percentage you think of people who come on with the intention to like build a platform or business that actually have success versus the ones that kind of come and just like crash and burn and fizzle out by doing
The percentage. I'm going to say, well, the crash and burn is probably not that high. I'm going to go with 30%. But the 70%, their businesses don't necessarily always do well.
Yeah.
Can
There's
you
the
tell right away if it's going to be a crash and burn?
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, because I think if your
Mhm.
your sole intention is to just like extract that kind of value, while also not providing good, stable like
You will never last if you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
I think
It's like you
Bethany did
cannot
well
keep
with
that up.
You
Yes.
saw her build the business.
Exactly.
That's why I think everyone wants to like build like something like she's done, but you watched her build the business in front of you and you watched her struggle. So you were invested as an audience.
The real
member.
question is how
Yes.
many of the husbands come through unscathed? I feel like a lot of these husbands, they just get nailed.
Well, I can tell you, I inadvertently, I was not trying to, you know, like for what I do as an actor or whatever, there was nothing I could really promote because in the beginning, the show was so different. I'm getting to the husband part. Sorry with the ADHD.
No, go ahead.
That, you know, we weren't supposed to acknowledge. We were just like Housewives. They didn't really want me to talk about the fact that I was an actor. And, you know, so it was like weird. But so I felt like, you know, I can't promote that. But, you know, we were starting the agency and they saw the struggle. And the reason it became a storyline is because of the situation with my family and the, you know, what it caused and created. Otherwise, it would never probably even been covered. So, I mean, it's not lost on me that, you know, when we started the agency, it was one office on South Beverly Drive with 5 agents, and Farrah and Mauricio were 2 of those.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And now there's over 150 offices all over the world, Europe, everywhere. And, you know, that the brand recognition is huge. So there's, you know.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So that's like a silent killer assassin.
Well,
Like,
Mauricio's been on here, and I mean, like the size and scale of what he's accomplished is pretty phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
there's
It's-
always a woman though behind the man.
Hey,
Don't
you
forget
you
about the
remind-
woman.
I will say this,
You
he
remind me
acknowledges
of
that.
that.
too, which
Yeah.
is nice too, because he does acknowledge that.
Yeah, I feel like he's
Woman's the neck.
No, when he came on here too, he acknowledged that and said that it was basically you guys doing it together.
It started, we were, you know, we had no money and we didn't have help or anything, like I said. So he came home one day. I don't know if he's told this. I think he does talk about this in his book. And he had been fired. He was in the clothing business and he had lost his job. And I could tell he had been crying and it just crushed me. And it was right before Christmas and we had no money. And I was like, we needed money to buy Christmas presents for our kids. And, you know, the babies, Alexia was 6 months old and Farrah was 7. So I said, why don't we go and, you know, hire a babysitter once a week and we'll go get our real estate license together. And that's what we did. We went to Santa Monica College and got a real estate license together. And it was the best thing that ever happened to him being fired that day. And that's how this, and then I would call him like in this 2-bedroom condo with now 3 kids. And I'd be like, where are you? And he'd say, oh, I'm at the golf course because there's like nothing going on. I should find something. I was literally a devil. I'd be like, I am not going to live in a 2-bedroom apartment for the rest of my life with 3 kids. I mean, Sophia was in our room in a bassinet. And he's like, there was nothing going on. I'm like, I don't care. Find something. And I was like, I need a house. I need to get out of here. So yeah, we had regular normal struggles, I think.
What was the turning point where you guys started to see momentum with the agency where he was not on the golf course?
Well, I mean, by the way, he turned that around real quick. He was a kid at this point. He was 25, what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So yes, 25 years old. So he quickly became the number 1 agent at Kathy, my sister, Kathy, my brother-in-law, Rick's real estate company. He became number 1, and he would win, number 1 every year at that holiday party. He would win the trip, the watch, the whatever, everything. And yeah, that's how it all started. So.
And when does he come to you and say, I want to open my own brokerage?
Well, it was first we wanted to be partners with, Kathy and Rick. They, I shouldn't say they, but like that didn't work out, let's just say. That's where the whole issue started. But we wanted just to be partners. And I should say because even though I'm obviously part owner because it's my, it's our company together, I very much like he runs that whole show. So he wanted to be a partner with Rick and it didn't end up working out. So then he said, I can't work for someone forever, and obviously we had our own kids and we didn't want to be under somebody for the rest of our lives. So we decided to branch out on our own, it happens.
And so when you guys launched that, how quickly did it start to become this huge thing? Like, what are we not seeing that showed on Housewives?
I feel like they did show over these years. I don't really remember now. It's been so long. But it was like, I don't even remember what the second office was, but the company kept getting bigger and then we needed a bigger space. Like clearly we can't stay in this little space on South Beverly Drive. Then we needed a bigger space. And then, now we need more and more. And people kept coming and coming and coming. And then, honestly, we had the best agents there was in town coming. And then with the recognition from the show, like more people wanted to join. It became like, and they just created this culture within the agency where it was like the cool spot to work and be.
Is that how we met Farrah? Because, Farrah's, she helped us with Melissa get in touch when we moved to Texas, but then she sold a condo for us. But is that how we met Farrah? Did we meet Farrah before?
Farrah because Farrah reached out to me on Instagram and said she loved my blog. And I was like,
that was a long time ago.
I do remember
that was a long time ago. And then Farrah and I went to Dan Tana's and had the Nikki Hilton salad, which is so funny.
So funny.
And I told her, I was like, your mom needs to get on, at the time it was called Reward Style. I was like, tell your mom to get on Reward Style. Because I would see your outfits on Beverly Hills and then I would see other people monetizing off your outfits.
Yes.
So like I would see,
I'm still not good about this, by the way.
I got to tell you off air. I would see like other sites putting like your sweater that you're wearing and all your stuff, your iPads, all the things. And I was like buying your iPads and then but you wouldn't get the commission.
No, and I would repost those people's stories for them. And I was like, I'm not making anything off this, but whatever.
It's like 20,000 clicks they're making
I know.
Okay, so I was like, your mom has to get on Reward Style. Anyways, that's kind of how we started becoming friends. And then we've just been friends ever since.
Well, the reason I ask is because it was, I think in the earlier days of the agency, and it had a footprint and it was doing well, but like not nearly what it's doing now. And it was like her and a few other people that we know over here locally, but it was like, I think it was just the one office maybe.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Farrah, she is incredibly, I'm sure you know this, she is very, very smart, but I have to take a moment to brag. She graduated, she went to NYU and then into USC and she graduated magna cum laude. She's really brilliant. She's an incredible writer too, which is why she loves to read, blogs and things like that. But she immediately, people would love to say because she's our daughter, she works so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, she's one of the more self-motivated people that I've met. Like
unbelievable. The people that stop me on the street about her, as an agent, and I'm always like, I'm so proud,
you should be proud of her. Yeah. She is so down to earth from so many other of the people I've met in LA, because I was new to LA. I was from San Diego. She's so down to earth, and what you see is what you get.
I think especially because of the profile of the family she comes from, right? Like she doesn't lead with that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, she, even though, obviously, her dad, is successful, had a lot of money. And then when I married Mauricio, she has 2 amazing dads, by the way, to be clear, 2 amazing dads. So, but when Mo and I first got married, we didn't have any money. Like that's very much ingrained in her. And we would tell her, one day we're going to have a house, but we have to have enough cushions in the bank. That's what we would say to her. We have to have enough cushions, because we could buy the house, we won't have money in the bank then. So she would always say, how many more cushions do we need? How many more cushions do we need? So she was always thinking like that, we have to work hard and put our money away and save our cushions to buy a house. And she'd say, one day I'm going to have my own room I don't have to share, and I can turn off my little lamp next to my bed. And she's always been determined to work hard. And, so I'm grateful that she has that, because by the time we got to Portia, our life was very different.
She is a hard worker.
So when you're doing Housewives and you're expecting one thing, and then it starts to get very personal and very,
the first season,
aggressive really quickly, what's going through your head? Are you like, this is great, stay on the course? You're like, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Oh my gosh. Over the years, there's been so many different things where I've been like, this is not what I was expecting. I mean, everything from season 1, like you just said, to now. And I think in the beginning, when I had the big blow up with my sister Kim in season 1, there was so much stuff, going on off camera that I couldn't say on camera, and I would never say. And I did not expect to be pushed to that limit, even though, anyway, it was a lot, going through that with my sister Kim and everything. But of course, then I'm like, this is just too much, and I remember them coming to me and saying, we're going to show you this. We're going to come to your house and show this to you. And
That's respectful.
Oh yeah. I mean, the production company and Alex Baskin, who's our executive producer, they're not like the other shows that I know, because I've talked to the other franchises, and our production people and producers run things very differently. And they came and they sat with us, and I think one of the producers even cried with me. And but of course, those moments I'm like, this is just too much, and I can't explain everything, because it's you can't certain family things you just can't share and explain.
Were they showing it to you to kind of brace you for what they were going to release, or to kind of get your input on what they could release?
No, we don't have that.
Yeah,
option.
so they were like, this is what's coming. And
right. And they felt bad, but it was it's literally was a season finale. That's how it ended. And it's I learned real quickly that, you don't get to choose what you want shown and what you do and don't want shown. But then even now it's it's just too much, because what happens is when people start to know your life, and they'll send me a screenshot and say oh, I saw you had this shampoo in your shower, and you're like, oh, what is in the background? I didn't even know. Or I go to get a lip gloss, and the camera's like this, hold on, let me see what's in my drawer. My God, oh, you're stressing me out, because they are up in your business. And so sometimes the audience, which by the way, they're amazing. The fans are very passionate. They're like sports fans. But sometimes it's my God, they really feel you owe them everything. And I'm like, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Because, a lot of the girls on the show, they'll keep people they're dating private, off camera, and they don't want to talk about it. And we all just kind of know we don't say anything. But then all of a sudden the rules are different. All of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, no one here is shown and talked about. So it can be very invasive, and the audience does think, you signed up for this, is what you hear. You signed up for this. Do you want to see me going to the bathroom, showering, having sex?
Right.
Where do we draw the line?
I can
There's
understand
something with the platform that you're on that I think has people feeling more entitled than they would with, so for example, we do this show.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that kind of reaction. People people probably, they want to know certain things, but they don't feel like they have a say, I don't think, in how we live. But with you, it's you've put yourself out, so now we get to comment on everything, no matter how invasive.
But you're right. Do you want to see the colonoscopy? It's like you have to set your own. They do.
Mm-hmm. They want to see it.
They do want to see it.
No, but what I'm saying is there's an unspoken maybe rule that's if you sign up for that, then now we are entitled to be as invasive as we want to be.
It's 100% the mindset. And then also there's sort of this I think because of what we represent, money and wealth and the sort of it's opulence, that you're screw you. Too bad you have this problem.
Not
you
a lot
have
of
all
sympathy.
that. Yeah, there's no sympathy for you. So you get a lot of that, and some days where I'm it's very overwhelming. Guess what? I also have really bad days. I have sad days. Some days
Does
I
it
feel
still-
sorry for myself. I also feel sorry for myself sometimes too. On certain days, that life gets hard. And
Honest.
Does it rattle you at this point, or it's been so long and you've dealt with it for so many years that it's...
it doesn't rattle me anymore, but I feel disheartened sometimes when I see some comments, and I'm like, I mean, honestly, everything in the world today makes me feel like that. I'm just like, what are we living in? But I'm not affected by it. I used to like block people and like, I don't even care. Say your rude thing. I don't care. You want to say I'm ugly, I'm stupid, they hope I'm fired or whatever it is. You know, I learned a long time ago that all the love, like we just said at BravoCon of like, and then all the hate, neither one of it really means anything.
Our kids are the first generation growing up on ultra-processed foods, and the long-term effects, we're only beginning to understand them. We cover this topic on this podcast all the time. That's exactly why Lauren and I love Hiya and love being Hiya partners, because Hiya gives parents a real solution in a market flooded with kids' vitamins that prioritize candy-like appeal over actual nutrition. Some children's vitamins on the market today contain up to 7 grams of sugar per serving and are stuffed with artificial additives and petroleum-based dyes. Hiya took the opposite approach. 0 sugar, 0 gummy additives, just clean nutrition. Every single morning when we wake up and we take our supplements, our kids take them with us. They take their Hiya, they look forward to it, and it's building healthy habits that we hope they'll carry through the rest of their lives. Working alongside pediatricians and nutritional scientists, Hiya created a superpowered chewable vitamin that packs a blend of 12 organic fruits and vegetables, plus 15 essential vitamins and minerals into every dose. We're talking vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate. And here's something every parent needs to hear as well. If getting your kids to eat vegetables feels like an impossible daily battle, Hiya's Daily Greens plus Superfoods is a total game changer. It's basically chocolate milk stuffed with veggies. It's a greens powder that's packed with 55 plus whole food source ingredients. Just mix 1 scoop with milk or a milk alternative and watch them actually enjoy something that's secretly fueling their growing bodies. So check them out. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/skinny. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/skinny and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults.
If something can elevate my day and make me feel more aligned, I'm in. And I have been driving with my kids a lot in the cars to pick up, to activities, to the dentist. Our dentist is 2 hours away, which we'll get to in an episode soon. But when I'm driving, I always stop by Starbucks. And my specific order, because you know I'm going to give it to you, is the new iced lavender cream matcha. Oh my God, it's so good. It's like smooth, topped with this subtle lavender cold foam. It just feels chic, elevated, floral, fresh. And honestly, I feel like it's like spring in a cup. I am so in love with this. I actually texted my friend the other day and I was like, you have to try it. It's also so pretty. The best part to me about Starbucks is that you can customize what you want. So I can adjust the sweetness or change the milk to really make it my own. And the sweetness I like to make very, very light. I like it to feel like refreshing. So it still tastes amazing. It just feels more refined and intentional. I recommended this drink too to some of the girls on our team and they all loved it. It's perfectly balanced and I have no notes and that's rare. You go in Starbucks and you create something that feels completely your own and personalized. And for me with Starbucks, I make it work for my routine and I customize my order. You can customize and edit as you please. That's what I love about Starbucks. So this spring, find your flavor and make Starbucks part of your ritual. And definitely check out the new iced lavender cream matcha. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. You know what I love? Every night, you know what I'm going to say? I love butter toast. My kids and I have a ritual. We have a piece of butter toast, sometimes in bed. Michael, come on, you know you love those crumbs. And we just like love this little ritual. It's so fun. We do butter with crunchy sea salt. And there is this brand, okay? It is called Hero Bread. And I'm about to blow your mind here, okay? This bread is all high in fiber and it's high in protein. So they have all different kinds of carbs on their site, and a lot of their carbs have 0 to 5 net carbs and 11 to 32 grams of fiber. That's amazing. They even have a breakfast bagel with 19 grams of protein. They've thought of everything. Oh my gosh. I just love bread so much. So this is so exciting. They have small batch drops of indulgent flavors. So they have like a hero croissant that has 2-gram net carbs. And they also have hero noodles, which is 5-gram net carbs. I am in the midst right now of tightening up. I still have about 15 pounds to lose. So I am going to eat bread the whole time I'm losing weight. I'm not compromising my bread. If you're looking for a fluffy, delicious butter toast ritual like I do, check out Hero Bread. You can't go wrong, okay? Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code SKINNYPOD at checkout. That's SKINNYPOD at HERO.co. Everyone is so concerned about what they're putting in their body, on their body, in their kids' body. But what about your dogs? We got to get on board for the dogs, okay? So enter Ollie. Ollie has fresh recipes that are developed by real chefs and backed by vet nutritionists. They're obsessed with making the best meals with the highest quality ingredients for your dog. You don't just get dog food with Ollie. Through their app, you can actually check in on your dog's health with real vets. So you can upload a picture and their team can check in on your dog's weight, digestion, teeth, and coat. They just want to make sure that your pet is as healthy as can be. So since switching to real dog food, for me, I've noticed that my dog's weepy eyes are so much better. My dogs had the most weepy eyes. I have Chihuahuas, and it looked like they were always crying. And real food has really changed their eyes. So that's really amazing. I also know a lot of people have talked about more energy in their dogs. And what's so funny to me is that I read a fact the other day that says 40% of people would save their dog over a human stranger. So you can't mess around with your dogs. Get them the right food with Ollie. They're relentless about delivering the best food and experience for you and your dog. Get ready for both you and your pup to be obsessed. Head to ollie.com/skinny. Tell them about your dog and use code SKINNY to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer an obsession guarantee. If you're not completely obsessed, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/skinny. Enter code SKINNY to get 60% off your first box. Ollie, feed the obsession. That Valerie Bertinelli came on the show yesterday, and she said that too. And I have found the most evolved people in this business. You cannot read the positive or the negative.
You said don't read the good or the bad.
You can't read it.
You're not so amazing. I remember my best friend, Lorene, who's passed away. You know, she's my best friend since I'm 7 years old. And people come up to me like, oh my God, and say, you know, they go over the top and she'd be like, why are they acting like that? I'm like, and she would joke and say like, she's not so amazing, calm down. Like,
no, and you know, we were recently speaking to your niece who Paris used to get nailed in the, like so bad.
So bad.
Like maybe worse. Like probably top 5 worse than anyone, right? Like, so like if you could name 5 people that got nailed the most, like she's probably in that 5
Brittany,
or 10.
Lindsay, Paris, that trio that you saw in that famous photo.
Yeah.
I don't know how
nailed.
those girls survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this a little bit with her, and it's just like at some point you just gotta block it off. I mean, I don't think people can get away with what they used to get away with anymore in the way that they used to write about those girls.
I think there's an experience stretching
in the comments they can. Publicly, they couldn't.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
people
saying. The
doing like
publications
this
couldn't.
kind of a thing, or like, you know, late night talk shows, they're getting called out for what they said to these girls. But like the comments and things like that. But I think about those 3 girls specifically all the time: Lindsay, Paris, Brittany.
Yeah.
Because the bullying and the abuse that these young girls endured at such a young age, it literally could make me like get emotional. It was so mean. It was so cruel. And I would see these things about Paris, and I would get so mad. Like, how did people talk to these people like this? And everything was a lie. Everything was assumed. And, you know, like, it was so maddening. And like, to me, I was a little kid when she was born. To me, Paris is like my little baby sister, even though she's my niece. And I was like, how do these girls get through that? How did they survive that? And if they can do that, and I'm the age I am, I can survive this too.
It's wild. But I mean, they've got to like put some laws or parameters or something around it. It seems to me that the more hate you get, the more resilience you build, though. And you almost become unaffected by it and almost indifferent.
Just become desensitized. We're just totally flatlined. Does it happen? We're just like, okay, you want to be
It's like,
mean.
what else can you say?
Right. I've heard it all.
Well, you put your marriage out on screen and everyone fell in love with you guys as a couple. And you guys were married, and I think this is very important to say, for 30 years, right?
30 years.
Long time.
I know.
I mean, I might be done after 30 years. That's a long time.
I joked the last time I saw
I mean, that's a
Mauricio.
long
I
time.
joked and I said, "Do you get a new bracelet for every year?" He likes those bracelets in the summer.
Oh my God, his stack,
Yeah.
his midlife crisis stack. I just saw someone call. I'm like, oh my God. By the way, I mean,
That's a good brand name. Midlife crisis
yeah.
stack.
I'm like, what? It's so funny because like people just love to come up with all of these things. But yes, I mean, it's a long time to be married, and
Long time.
It's a long time to be married.
for a long time, was one of the things I was most proud of.
And you guys,
It's like-
you guys are not divorced. You call it a what? It says on here.
I do. There's a name for
There's
this.
a name.
I don't know where you
It's
got
not
that from.
Gwyneth
It's from the internet
Paltrow's
because
name.
I didn't come up with any
Okay,
name.
hold on. This is what
We didn't do the conscious uncoupling.
post separation.
Post separation.
Is that right?
Well, we're not legally separated, but we don't live together. But we
Don't
haven't
live
done any paperwork.
How have you guys
Isn't
managed?
the paperwork kind of like we talk about this all the time. Like paperwork's kind of a pain. Like you might as well just. There's a lot of complications, especially with what you guys have built. I would say just like maybe just keep it
If
simple.
we decide to do a
Like, if we
separation,
split
it's
up,
going
I'd
to
say
be a
let's just
similar
keep it-
vibe.
let's just
It's
keep it
like,
tight,
it's
you
so
know?
much. There's so much to undo. It's like a ball of yarn.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I see
Doesn't
this
seem
other
like
people
a strategic business move if we had to
Yeah, you just
uncouple.
kind of
We'd
just
have
let
to
it.
just let it.
uncouple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it tight so we don't have to go through all that.
Well, there's so many people now also on the show this season. I'm seeing like what Dorit's going through, and Rachel Zoe is filed for divorce, and I mean everyone just does it their own way.
Right.
Everyone does it differently. It just depends. Like you guys get along well, then you're not. Hopefully, you can do it amicably and not hurt your children. And this is gonna be the next headline. Kyle Richards says that if these women are hurting their children. That's not what I'm trying to say. Every separation is different. Every divorce is different. Every relationship is different. And, this is what's working for us so far. And I say so far because obviously we're not going to stay in this gray area.
But how have you guys managed to do it so gracefully? Because he came on our show, and I don't know if you heard the show, but he was really eloquent in the way he talked about you. And I feel like even when you guys are on the show, you can feel it's graceful.
Well, it feels like you guys still have a high respect for each other.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, you don't love someone that long and have that kind of relationship with them and just disappears. Like, I mean, unless one of them is a complete asshole and piece of shit, then I guess that would disappear. We built this beautiful life together, this beautiful family. And I just don't, I have a lot of respect for him and I have a lot of love for him. So, and vice versa. So there's just been no reason to fight, and we haven't had somebody, a third party pushing us to, separate or file that. So we've just been doing it on our own terms in our own time.
Will you and Mauricio ever get back together?
The $1 million question.
What do you think?
I'm asked that all the time by everybody. And listen, like I said, we will not always stay in this gray area. And there has been more talks about that as of recently, I will say. But,
Kind of like TBD.
Well, listen, the longer things go on like this, it seems harder, to think about how do you come back from
more
this?
normal it feels.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And kind of settling into this. But I think both of us, it's just hard to accept or acknowledge because it is such a big part of our identities, being, married so long, but we've kept it so normal with our family. And I could say, for the kids, it's not just for, them, it's for us too. And my kids are, for the most part, adults. So,
Well, I imagine there's like the other layer, which is you guys are going through a lot of this publicly, which I'm sure is not the easiest thing. Because again, everybody has a comment and a perspective, right? And
Right.
everybody feels they're entitled to tell you guys what to do.
Oh, everybody. And they're like, he's going to screw you and you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, okay. You do you. I know, I appreciate your advice. I know where it's coming from your own past experiences.
They're projecting.
They're projecting.
One thing that I want to know as a mother of 3 is how you have managed to still have this tight-knit family into their 20s and 30s. I really admire that. What are some things that you guys do? Like, is it weekly family dinner? Like, what are the things? You guys travel together?
Well, first of all, I always say about parenting, like you get out of your kids what you put into them. And since they're babies, like I said, I was the mom that had the baby strapped on me at all times. And we did the shared shared family bed, which probably wasn't the best thing in the world. Don't recommend, but it worked for the
We're
kids.
still doing it.
Yeah, we did that for a
12
long
kids
time.
in our bed.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
But, you know,
she sent me this video the other day of a bed that's
I'm
like as
like,
wide
let's
as
get a
this
big
table. I
bed.
said,
Mo
no.
was like, I guess he sold Eddie Murphy's house or something. And he's like, he has a customized bed where all the kids could sleep in. I was like, oh, great. This is just what we need. This is just what we need.
Did you guys
20-foot long bed so that we can never, ever be alone.
Did you guys
ever.
have girls though? All girls, right?
All girls, 4
Okay,
girls.
like you can't have our grown sons laying in bed with it. Like they need to go
Living
off.
with his mom for the rest of
No,
his life.
at some point they need
Our
to
girls
go
are-
off and be,
No.
men
No.
that can
See,
not
it's
be.
hard. It's hard to.
How-
Well,
what are
Sophia's
you-
almost 6 feet. Sophia's 5'10", and she would like get in bed with us. I'm like, there's actually got Sophia there. We got another one. We got dogs and
The
kids.
bracelets? How many fucking bracelets in the bed?
Listen,
You gotta get all 40 of those.
I don't
in.
care what anyone says. I'm just going to say this, and maybe some of the moms or dads will get mad. Like, you don't want to have a 10, 12-year-old boy laying and sleeping mom and dad.
You
Like,
haven't
need-
met me.
No.
You haven't met me.
Yeah.
You haven't met me.
That-
I'll be like, get on mommy's lap. I put him under my shirt like I'm still
What
pregnant
if,
with
you
him.
met, what if you met me and I was, like, hey, I just got done sleeping with my mom like 4 years ago.
It's not about you.
No. You had a hard enough time just like having a mother-in-law come in. Like that's let alone like
No.
we're not mess
No,
up
no.
our kids.
You're
So
like, what
What are the things that you do? Like, what are the things
Okay.
like the mission statement of your family?
I mean, yes, we do everything together. We are traveling together. We do that a lot, and we used to say that we like to have them like this is like out of touch, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Like when we would go on a boat, we loved because they couldn't escape. So they couldn't leave for like breakfast,
for the
lunch, or
tips.
dinner. No, literally, like you can't go anywhere. So we have you locked down for 2 weeks, and it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, reading our books together, and we love that. Oh yeah, that was the whole time that we saw you guys on the boat. That
Yes.
was fun.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we were on Yacht Stalkers.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an app called Yacht Stalker.
Really? You were
by the way.
stalking us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This is a relatable conversation.
Yes, yeah, very relatable. But no, what I do is like we do have family dinners. We go out to dinner. We have dinner at home. We have game night at home. We have movie night at home. And my girls are my best friends. They are my favorite people in the world to spend my time with. And it is. Not one time when I have all 4 together, does it ever pass me that I think to myself, I cannot believe that all 4 of these intelligent, beautiful, kind, funny girls, women are mine. And yeah, don't tell me, oh, they're not yours. We're just a incubator. No, they're mine. They're all mine. I made them. I carried them. And I look and I'm just like, I cannot believe it. God is good. God really, did me right. And I just cannot believe that these incredible people are like mine. I get to hang out with all the time.
You really do have 4 solid children. From what I can see. And I know one of them. And
Well, and it's not easy in this city.
no, it's not easy. It's
No.
not easy in the city. You've managed to raise them in a really humble way. Is there a takeaway for the audience there?
Well, like I said, when Mo and I were first married, we didn't have it. So Alexia and Farah especially saw us like, building and, working really hard. And then as we started to be more successful and make more money, but then they just saw us both working really hard all the time. And at first I had this sort of guilt because I had the kind of mindset of like stay-at-home mom all the time. And then I was feeling guilty that I would go to work with Portia. And then this girl I knew said to me from school, mom at school said, well, why do you feel guilty? Don't you want your daughters to see you working and set a good example? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. So, they've seen how hard that Mo and I have worked for what we have because we didn't have help from anybody. And so I think that helps in having it be a conversation. And, they were not the girls that like got expensive handbags when they were, 15, 16 and got to spend whatever they want. They had to really, I would give them a present here and there when they got straight A's and things like that. And it's an open conversation because of where we live and what we do that we've had to make it like that. So, I feel proud of the fact that they are down to earth in that sense, even though they have nice things and they come from what they come from.
How would you manage if there was other friends or kids at the school that were maybe living differently and getting access to all those things? Like, what does the conversation look like to kind of ground your kids?
Well, this is kind of interesting because I saw a friend of Portia's just got, oh, I shouldn't be saying this on here, but she got a G-Wagon for her 16th birthday. And I was like, whoa, wow. And I was like, I cannot believe she got a G-Wagon for her 16th birthday. And she said, well, why did you guys buy me my car then?
What was her car again? I
Her
remember.
car is the Porsche Macan.
Okay.
So it's not nearly as expensive as G-Wagon.
It's nice though.
But it's a very nice car. And it was the nicest of the 4 daughters' first cars. But that was Mo. And he was like, her name is Portia and she needs to have a Porsche. I was like, okay. But so then she like pushed back. Well, you did that. So why did you think? I'm like, no, I'm not judging. I was saying, and she's like, no, it felt like you were judging. And I have a very nice car, and I work really hard at my school, and you thought I deserved it. And I was like, okay. So, there's people that have a lot more than my kids, and people that have a lot less, and that's something that we talk about all the time too.
That's a good way to look at it. There's people that have a lot less, and there's people that have a lot more. It gives you context.
They're very aware of that too. So that's the thing, and she said like, oh, I felt a little bit uncomfortable. I could tell she was uncomfortable in certain situations that we did give her that car. So, that's all on Mo. You know what? Let's just blame Mo for all this.
Just
Had
blame the
nothing to do with
guy.
any of this.
I am dying to ask you about your sobriety. You've been sober for 4 years?
Almost. And in July 15th, it's 4 years.
And were you just sick of being hungover? Like, what was the reason that you decided?
No, because I wasn't even a big drinker. Of course, when I would go out with my friends or to a party, I would have margaritas.
When you
and
do
have
the
fun.
splits. And if you
When I
haven't
do the
seen
splits.
Kyle do the splits, go Google it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like too many people have seen me do the splits. But also, dinner, I'd have a glass of wine or a couple glasses of wine. But it was a combination of things. I am someone who, like, after I'd have a few drinks the next day, I would wake up and feel depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt down. What's what they call it? Not a hangover.
Melancholy,
No, it was like a anxiety.
Anxiety.
There we go, anxiety. Thank you, Karina. I would get anxiety. I'm an oversharer as it is. So then I'd be like, oh my God, I shared too much. But then I realized now that I do that without drinking anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it was the timing. I had just lost my best friend to suicide, and I couldn't afford a day to feeling depressed. And I wanted to feel the best I could and, physically. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just not have alcohol, sugar, carbs for a couple of weeks and, take a couple pounds off. And all of a sudden it's sort of like, I felt so much better and I looked so much better. And then 2 weeks became a month and then 1 month became 2. And I was like, why do I need to go back to that again? Wait, I can live my life, have fun and never have anxiety again.
How can you not have a glass of champagne during some of the Housewives scenes?
It's the weirdest thing. Like
You just don't want one.
No.
That's if I feel like you have
Some
to
of
be.
them are having a little too much champagne in those scenes.
Yeah.
Listen, not drinking is a superpower.
It is a superpower. I bet
It
you
is a
feel
superpower.
fantastic.
I feel so
Well, you
good.
can now, then you have your wits about you too.
Oh, yeah. And the next day when they're saying things, I'm like, that's not what happened. Let me tell you, because I was the only one not drinking last night.
So they don't remember exactly how the story went.
Well, I mean, in times in my life, I see this happen with people. I'm not saying on my show necessarily, because honestly, our show, there are not a lot of big drinkers.
You're right.
They're really not.
The biggest drinkers I'm going to say is New York. If I was,
I'm going to agree
I
with
think
that.
it's New
I've
York.
seen some really big drinkers on New York, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's a lot. I just did the ultimate girls trip.
yes. Tell us
And-
about that. Give us a little juice on that.
Well, I was like, why would I do this when I'm like off, not shooting the Housewives? Like, what? But it was the OG one, so I felt like I have to
Okay.
do this. I've been, they're this long on the show, so it was Vicky from OC. Let me go through this. I don't want to forget anybody. God forbid. It was Luann from New York,
Love.
Portia
Okay.
from Atlanta, Teresa from New Jersey, Giselle from Potomac, and then Lisa Barlow from Salt Lake.
Okay.
And it was just a lot of personalities, and I haven't seen all the shows, up to date, but so many personalities and like so much going on, really overwhelming. But what I realized is like some of them, we would stop at these different cities and we'd meet all the other housewives that come in from the franchises, and I saw like some big blowout fights happen.
Hopefully the cameras captured it.
Oh, they did.
Okay.
But I was like, these people are hardcore. Like, we are monks in Beverly Hills, guys. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are monks at this point. And I was like, how I would kill somebody. I heard someone say something about someone's kid, and then they were calling someone I can't even say other things because I don't know what will be shown and what won't be shown. I don't want to get in trouble for.
But do you feel like the new franchises, they kind of got to enter in with a step up in order to compete with the older ones, yeah? Like I feel like...
I don't know, but they didn't even need to do this. We're just celebrating 20 years of Housewives. Why are you coming in here? So it was just interesting to see.
It's nice though, because you get to be sort of the voice of reason and step back a little bit probably when they're like, dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, I was like literally in the middle.
Oh.
And they're fighting and then they're like, Kyle, this is not what happened. This is what happened. She did this. I'm like, listen, I'm not your therapist, guys. And then we met the Rhode Island girls, the new Rhode Island girls.
How's that?
Whew.
Oh.
Whew. That was another situation. I was like, I literally feel like Mother Teresa sitting in this room. We came in and they start coming in and the personalities flying, things coming out of their mouths. And I was just like, oh my God. At one point I had to yell, everybody stop talking. And I was like, I have to leave the room for a minute. I was so overstimulated by 1 million housewives around me.
That's intense. And those OGs, each of them brings something very different to the table.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Teresa mixing with Lisa Barlow.
Just Luann's been on the show. She's fun.
She sang.
Funny.
She gave a little.
Oh, of course she sang, which that didn't go over very well with a couple of housewives.
On the show?
They didn't want her to sing or they didn't like what she was singing?
Why?
They were like, no, ma'am, enough with that singing.
Really? I would have recorded a beat with her.
It was so funny. You'll have to wait and see, but that I was very entertained by that.
I cannot wait. So the sobriety, are you committed to being sober for the rest of your life? Are you committed to just today? What's your vibe on it?
I never put a timeline on it because I just didn't want to do that to myself. I mean, but now I would be so disappointed if I did drink, even though I didn't have a problem before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I do go out in public and I say, do you have a non-alcoholic, sparkling wine or, non-alcoholic beer? I'm paranoid because people are watching and I'm like, first of all, I need to look at the bottle because I have to see it myself that has no alcohol. And then I ask them to leave it on the table because I don't want someone saying, I saw Kyle Richards and I saw a beer bottle and she's a liar because that happens all the time. Just being accused of lying. So, but if I had accidentally taken a sip of something with alcohol, I would be really tortured because I'm very like Capricorn in me. I'm like, no. I have to stick with this and be. So I don't know. I don't see myself drinking, but who knows? I mean,
it's
what
inspiring.
I one day say.
It is inspiring to watch also your fitness journey. It feels like you got into weightlifting, right?
I do. Yes. I mean, what I call weightlifting. I use weights every day, but I mean, I don't think I'm cool enough to say weightlifting because they're not huge. I didn't want my arms started to get a little too big for a little bit. I thought I was doing a good thing, and I was like, oh no, I don't like that. Now I got to go back.
I have that right now. Have you ever heard of Hey Maud arms? You say Hey Maud across the street. You go Hey Maud, and
why
then
Maud?
And because this Maud's it's a little wiggle. It's called Hey Maud arms.
I don't like
the
this.
neighbor that says Hey Maud.
Well, now I'm feeling through my sweater. I don't know if I like this.
I find it so funny when women say that they start weightlifting. Like I'm getting way too strong, way too big, way too. It's like, do you know how hard it is to guys? That's all we do is try all day.
Yeah, because you want to be big.
Yeah, but it takes it takes years to just put on Chris is over. He knows. You guys I'm just too jacked right away. It's been 2 weeks of lifting weights.
Well, I thought I was, I wanted to look really good for Alexia's wedding.
Okay.
And I was my dress was strapless. I'm like, I need my arms to be looking really good. And honestly, after having 4 kids and your weight goes up and down, up and down, up and down, it's not easy. That's one of the hardest areas to hit is the arms.
Yep.
So I started increasing the weight, thinking I'm going to burn and make them really, well, my arm looked big in this picture to me. And I was like, that's not what I wanted. And I got to go back and lower that down. And I'm sorry that I get so buff so quickly. That's not my problem.
I don't see anything big. I think you look
I'm wearing
amazing.
a sweater. No, now it came down.
Now I need to know about your supplement stacks. I want to know what you're doing to put on this massive
well, I am
muscle.
taking peptides.
Oh, you are? Which ones?
Oh, you got to tell us what
my
peptides
God.
you're taking.
Apparently the one that
everyone's on
helps
the
the memory
peptides.
doesn't work because I can't remember the name of the peptides. But I think Chris, help me out. GHKCU? Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the glow stuff. That's skin, hair.
Right.
Is that the one that you're doing too?
Yeah.
You gotta send me
Hello.
this.
Can you not
Yeah,
see
no,
the
it's
glow?
glowy,
The glow
it's glowy.
stack. And then I take the one that hurts when I put, that's the only one that hurts when I inject it, the blue one. I think that was for the muscle repair and stuff, the BPC.
BPC 157.
I take that.
That's good. It's good for recovery.
What else do I take, Chris? GHKCQ, what is that?
Oh my God.
Who the hell could remember? Please explain to me how everyone is supposed to remember all of these things.
What does
these
each
letters.
one do? One's for glow. Want
Listen,
BPC?
I just stab myself and hope for the best, okay? I mean, I literally pinch and stab it in there. And I'm like, this is somebody who had to go to hypnotherapy because of my fear of needles. I do not care. I'm not one of these people who's going to say, I earn these wrinkles. I want to age gracefully.
I'm not either.
By the way, I'm impressed by those people and I admire them. That's not for me.
No, that's not
so
for me
if I
either.
can take a peptide and it's going to, take away lines and use my red light therapy mask, I'm doing every single thing.
I will do every single thing until I'm rigor mortis in the ground. I want Karina to do my makeup when I am laid to rest. I want you to fan my hair out, Chris. I better be looking so fucking hot.
And by the way, I don't even mean I want to look good, because I actually don't love to wear makeup. As Karina will tell you, I don't love to wear makeup, but I want to look good so that I don't have to wear makeup. I want to look, just have my skin feel good and be healthy from the inside out.
All 3 of my kids, I have taken the same prenatal, Essential Prenatal by Ritual. We've talked about this, you know this, but let me tell you why this prenatal is legit. It's clinically backed, okay? Clean, traceable ingredients like choline, folate, and omega-3. We've had Gary Brecka on this podcast to talk to us about the importance of methylated folate, and that is in Ritual, checks that box. This is clinically proven to be well absorbed and demonstrated a more efficient utilization of folate versus a leading prenatal with folic acid. They also have a patented capsule that's designed to dissolve in the small intestine. So this is a really optimal place to absorb nutrients. We like this. Moms taking Ritual, including me, reported that their prenatal was easier to swallow, gentler on the stomach, and a better overall positive experience than those taking a leading prenatal. It's a #1 best-selling prenatal. I loved it. I've recommended it to all my friends. They have the only leading prenatal backed by its own human clinical trial. Check it out. Don't settle for less than evidence-based support. Save 25% off your first month at ritual.com/skinny. That's ritual.com/skinny for 25% off your first month. And just for the record, I do like Ritual's multivitamin too when I am not pregnant. Spring is here. Spring with Sam Edelman is here. It's all about refined luxury that moves with you. I just got a very cute ballet flat from Sam Edelman. It's the Ruthie woven ballet flat, and I just love this when I'm podcasting. So it really pairs effortlessly with a denim or a tailored pant. I like to be comfortable when I'm doing the show, so a ballet flat is the way to go for me. If you're more of a kitten heel girl, they also have a Presley strappy kitten heel sandal. If you're looking for something more sleek or feminine, this is a really perfect one to wear for spring events and evenings out. And then they also have another one that's really cute. It's the Alley Ballet Flat, and this is like more of a timeless classic ballet flat. You can't go wrong when you go shopping on Sam Edelman. They really embrace a full 360 lifestyle, from the perfect shoe to ready-to-wear pieces that anchor your full outfit. This brand is very strategic because they design for whatever the season is, which I think is great because obviously you want to wear different shoes in the spring than you do in the winter. What can we say? I feel like we're all the same like that. It's the season of stepping out, refreshing your wardrobe, and embracing effortless polish. Definitely check out the Ruthie woven ballet flat. That's the one I like. You can visit them at samedelman.com to explore everything you need for spring and get 15% off with code SKINNY15. That's code SKINNY15 at samedelman.com. I have been using LTK, I want to say for, 10 years, a long time. And the reason that I like it as not only an entrepreneur, but a creator is that it gives me the ability to organize and catalog my entire life. So everything from toddler favorites to home decor, to the candles that I like, to the nail polish that I'm wearing, to even like what my phone case is, to Amazon favorites, to things that I think are investment pieces. I have thoroughly worked with my team to make sure that we do not miss a detail and everything is so organized for everyone to shop. So you can shop me on LTK as a creator under Lauren Bostic, and you can really just get everything organized, everything shoppable, everything's tag saved, all the things. So instead of like screenshotting and like emailing yourself lost links, this is just an easy way to go back and find everything. Now, as an entrepreneur, if I'm putting on my founder hat, which I always am, I love LTK because my brand, The Skinny Confidential, is on LTK. So if you are a creator and you want to talk about the ice roller or the mouth tape or our brow peptide, and you want to make a commission, you can do that on LTK. So you can go on, you can find the brand at The Skinny Confidential, and you can use it as a way to make money while talking about the products that you like. So I love LTK from the creator standpoint, and I love it as a founder. I just feel like it's thought of everything. LTK's new brand platform has everything your business needs, and it's free. So here's the thing. LTK just built a brand new influencer marketing platform, and it's like 5 platforms, you guys, in one. They have everything from discovery to social listening to gifting to messaging to even campaign tracking, which has been a game changer for my business. It's all there and it's all free, and everything has radical data transparency. So they've thought of everything. And when I say it's free, I mean it's free. If you're the brand, this changes your entire year. So ditch the 100K plus fees from the other platforms. This is all you need and it's free. I like how you can engage on it, like I said, as a user, as a creator, as an entrepreneur. So maybe you have a brand that you want to put on LTK, or maybe you're a creator that wants to make some money, or maybe you're like me and you're a founder and you want to utilize it. You cannot go wrong on LTK. Check them out. And while you're on there, search Lauren Bostic and the Skinny Confidential products. LTK really has turned everything into a curated branded experience, especially for my community. If you're a brand or a founder, get on the LTK brand demo list to see it for yourself. You can sign up at shopltk.com/skinny. That's shopltk.com/skinny to see the platform in action. Best decision for me as a creator and for the Skinny Confidential business. Introducing the Skinny Confidential Ice Roller, reimagined. Think sleeker lines, a softer pink, a custom buttery dust bag, and a silver roller, not pink anymore, that is ice cold. I wanted to do a zhuzh on the iconic ice roller. I wanted to update it. This ice roller for me has always been more than just a tool. It's about helping us depuff and sculpt and calm the skin in a way that feels intentional. And I wanted the ice roller to feel evolved. It's changed. You've changed. So yes, the new gorgeous, stunning, beautiful ice roller is still going to do the same things. It reduces puffiness and redness in your face. I used it this morning before I put on my makeup. It definitely helps with the under eye bags. Of course, it helps boost circulation and radiance. I just feel like it really helps stimulate blood flow and gives me that tighter, more radiant skin. And then it also is known to give you a smoother, tighter looking skin. So what I like to do is I like to combine facial massage with cold therapy. And this really helps give you a really nice foundation before you even apply your skincare. This ice roller for me is a full circle moment. I think that a lot of you bought the ice roller 5-6 years ago when we launched it. And now I am launching something that feels more in alignment with where you're at. It's so beautiful, you guys. Like, it's just softer and more effortless in every way. And I really put my own touches on every single little step, from the packaging to the colors to how it feels to even the roller. It's all been elevated just for you. So the Lauren ritual is you do cold therapy to help fight inflammation. You roll it, you glide it across your face. I put it on my jawline, my neck, I roll it down. Your skin is just going to appear smoother and tighter before you go in for the kill with the skincare and the makeup. Don't skip the cold therapy. The new ice roller is an upgrade designed to meet the standards of today, and I hope you guys love it as much as I do. This is the beauty tool that started it all, redesigned to evolve with you. I'm showing it on YouTube too, if you're on YouTube, if you're seeing me visually. Get it while it's hot at shopskinnyconfidential.com. That's shopskinnyconfidential.com. What are other beauty secrets, tips, tricks that you do?
Okay, well, the peptides is a huge thing.
Okay.
And I never talk about this just because I don't know why. No one's really asked me, but like I do hormone replacement therapy.
And does it work?
Absolutely.
Is it the pellet or the shot?
I do the pellet.
Okay. And does it put it in your ass?
Mm-hmm.
Does it hurt?
And when I say that, somebody thought actually putting up in
my
ass.
Not in the asshole. Oh my God.
Let's be clear that it's in the
Kyle
butt cheek.
Richards puts a pellet up her ass.
No, but more.
This is in my butt cheek, to be clear.
But this is becoming, a lot more women are starting to talk about this. And didn't they just pass new laws or regulations to to push this through a little bit more? Didn't something happen? 'Cause-
I have been reading about that.
Yeah.
Yes. See, and I hope that, I like that it's more of an open conversation now.
Yeah.
But like I watched my mom just be terrified, honestly. And she had her last period at like 40 years old. And I just remember her being like moody and edgy. And like, I can remember her with a fan all the time. And I was like, I do not want to be like that. I'm never going to ever be like that. So I had a promise with my best friend, Lorene, that like, if we ever see that happening, we need to like talk to each other, because I don't think my mom and all these people I've seen go through this realize that how scary they are. And we have to be watching each other. So I was like, when do I start that? How soon? And I literally got ahead of it. And, I battled my weight, pretty much, when I was younger, that was always like my thing. My sisters were blonde and skinny and I was like curvy and, so I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. I want to be like fit. And I really feel like it does really help make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people come on the show Mark Sisson's one of them, as they get older. And what I always tell people is it's not a matter of if, it's just when. Like for sure, I will look at that stuff as they start to get older. Because we've seen the quality of life of so many people like change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk to older people on the show and they say that that their sex life changed, their energy changed, they're happier, they're healthier, they're managing weight. And so why would you not access those tools if you can?
100%. And I can like kind of tell when someone's not taking it and should be.
Oh, well, I'll have to
Is
look for that look on your face.
Am I going to be like
look?
raked over the coals for saying that?
No, I think
Chris is saying yes. Chris.
There's no more coals for you to be raked over at this point.
I know, I've been raked over every coal. Bring it on.
Yeah.
No, I can look and think, okay, I can tell this person is not taking that and they should be. And I've sent many people, I just think that whatever
if you were
you can
specific
do.
about the person, that might be
Yeah,
a call. But if you just
exactly.
say people,
No. But no, I've sent many of friends and maybe a couple housewives
there's a
too.
whole nother show on your inner monologue.
Oh, yeah. This is true.
The real inner monologue.
Yes.
Your mom carrying a fan is so 360 because Kathy's fan.
Oh, yeah.
I have the pillow. I got the pillow.
Oh, my gosh.
I got the pillow. I got the fan. I don't need the fan. I just think it's funny.
Kathy, but my mom had a hand fan.
Oh, a
Kathy
hand
travels
fan.
with a big, huge, like,
What about
plug in the
I got the
wall fan.
handheld fan that she had, the little round
yeah,
one.
she does that too.
I got to get
Oh my God, we ran into her at the airport the other day with Rick, and there was like 3 dogs and
10
like
pillows.
fans
a
and
fan,
bags.
pillows.
And then like they were late to the flight. It was like Hilton, and it was like screw. Like oh my God.
Oh my
The
gosh.
dogs were going nuts. My God. It was
She's
like
a
whole
lot.
thing.
She's a lot.
Oh
She's
my gosh.
hysterically funny though. But she is definitely.
hysterically funny.
Yeah, she is.
She is
for
very,
sure.
very funny. Okay, so tell us about your production company and tell us about the new season of The Lincoln Lawyer.
So my production company is called House of 18.
Okay.
And, all 4 of my girls have 18 in their birthdays, so 1 and 8 next to each other. They're on the 18th or the 1-8 lined up.
Cool.
So it's just been my good luck number always. That's why my Instagram is Kyle Richards 18 and all that. But so we called the production company that, and I have 2 shows, like I said, that are in development, and 2 shows. I'm trying to think of the wording. What is this called? I think that is one is like in early stages of development, and the other 2 are like farther along in the process.
Okay.
Like scripts being written actually currently right now. Yeah, like pre-production.
Is it like based off a book or is it something that you're creating out of nowhere?
Something. Well, I love to read, so like one of the ideas is something I just came up with that I was inspired by an article I had read years ago. And another one is inspired by just real life things that are going on. And another one is just a story that happened to me years ago. So some of them are inspired by and some of the stories I came up with. And I really love doing that. Like to me, everything turns into like a story in my head. Like when I'm in my car, I don't listen to music. Usually I'm just literally just thinking of stories.
Well, there's a lot to think about with everything you've got going on in your life. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's all kinds of different stories.
Well, now I have it's just so strange because my life has taken such an interesting turn. So my life is not what it used to be at all, as you may have heard.
We've read a couple
The
things.
dynamic
Yeah,
at my
yeah.
house is a very different situation now. But yeah, and then, and so I'm really enjoying the producing, and then the acting is just my first love. That's what, I've done since I'm little, and being able to do, all of that has been great. The Housewives, which is stressful, but then when I'm creating and producing and I'm acting, I just feel only excitement all the time. I don't, even if it's, I always compare, like, you know, I remember when I was shooting the last Halloween movie, or maybe it was the Halloween before that one, Halloween Kills. And I was 4 o'clock in the morning in a swamp, and they had men in the swamp with me with headlamps on, with rubber suits up to here, looking for snakes and alligators. And I was getting in there with them, and I thought, I would rather be doing this. How scary is that? I'd rather be doing this
You
than a Housewives with a
literally
dinner.
get in the swamps with the alligators and snakes for a living on a daily basis at Beverly Hills. Getting in a real one's like easy.
Well, I remember I went up because they'd only told me about the alligators, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, because they had a stunt person. I was like, there's no way I'm letting a stunt person do this. So I went up to the man who had like the stick with the thing for the alligator wrangler. And I was like, didn't want the director to hear me. And I was like, so can you just tell me, like, what are the chances of there really being like an alligator near me? And he was like, oh, if I were you, if it was the snakes, I'd be more worried about than the alligators. And I was like, no, don't shoot the snakes nobody told me about. But I was like, I just love that. You know, I love that. And I have this sense of like pride after an accomplishment. So I love doing that. And then this season doing Lincoln Lawyer, I've had more compliments and nice messages from people like, you know, all over that just like only nice things, which, you know, when you do the Housewives, you get such a mix. And you're like, God, this is really nice. And people say, God, you know, you're a
No, but it feels like now, like people are on your side and really rooting for you. Do you feel like that's shifted over the years? Like, where like it feels like more positive than negative?
I mean, I have to say I'm fortunate in the sense that it's, you know, you see comments in the, you know, like we say on Instagram or like, you know, on page 6 and things like that. And there'll be mixed things. But like people DMing me and coming up to me are always overwhelmingly positive and supportive. And, you know, they really do feel like they know you. You know, they'll say, can I hug you? And, you know, wrap their arms around me and give me a hug. And
People love you.
And they'll say, like, thank you. And they'll say, like, you know, I've been watching you going through, you know, with Mauricio and, you know, your journey and this and that. And that's like the sweet part, you know.
Has it ever worked out for any of the husbands now that we never got that figured out?
Yeah, I think Mo's come out pretty much unscathed. They give him a little bit of a hard time now because, you know.
But he was never really in there squabbling with the girls, right? Like he didn't.
No.
Yeah,
no.
like the guy, whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, that's not going to end well for you.
I know. No, he's not there squabbling with the girls.
I got to ask you, Brad or Angelina? Or
you
both?
know, I said that.
I'm taking both.
Okay, you're taking both.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm greedy.
Here's the thing. There's a couple reasons why I said that. First of all, everybody was like, you know, there was so much gossip about me and everybody was like trying to dance around the question, but they just kept, you know, coming to me. So I thought, I'm going to you know, say something to like make them laugh and maybe shut them up a little bit. And the other side of that is like, I don't know. You know what? I've changed over these past few years. I've evolved. I've grown. And what can I say? I'm open-minded, you know?
That's a great
With
place
that said,
to
I'm
end.
still by myself.
I will tell you, you must know that you are very good on a mic. I've not heard you on a lot of podcasts. Is this the first podcast you've ever done?
No, I just don't do them
Juicy
often.
Scoop. You did Juicy Scoop. I heard you on
I
a
did,
long time
Yeah,
ago.
and I did Jackie Schimmel's.
Yes.
Because I know Jackie and I'm a fan of hers. I've done Teddy's because she's one of my best friends. And other than that, I don't usually do them. But then you guys are so close to Farrah. And then Mo was on here and Kathy and Paris. I'm like, you know.
Let's get the whole family.
Yeah, like, why don't we bring everybody on at once?
Here, well, let's
do
do an open round table with the whole family.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine that?
I'll host it like a reunion.
I think that would
exactly.
actually be fun. Well, we'll set it up.
For who?
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to moderate. There's a lot of moving pieces.
But you are very good on a mic.
I actually really do want to do that. And I know everyone seems like everyone, but I think there's so many like things I want to talk about. I actually thought about maybe doing one with my 4 daughters. It was, you know,
you guys could swap it out too.
We have so many. When I'm literally dealing with things with Portia, going to college and all that entails, and her leaving home and empty nest and this and that. And then Sophia's in her own thing in her 20s and trying to figure out where she's going in her career. And then there's Alexia just getting married. Is she gonna have a baby? Work, fair. I'm like, we have so many topics. Like, I'm like, we could be doing this together, and then I could kidnap them again and not even need the boat.
Well,
Lock them in, and I do know a guy that might be able to help you start the podcast. I know a guy.
Can talk to you about it.
I feel like that pitch was pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
Was that a good pitch?
That's a great pitch.
Anytime.
Yeah. Kyle Richards at Kyle Richards 18. Where can everyone watch, support, see you, all the things?
Well, that's my Instagram at Kyle Richards 18. I do TikToks now and then because of Corina and Chris over there, you know, and that's where everyone's going to these days.
I can't do TikTok.
Sophia suckers me into her TikToks too, and people really like Sophia on TikTok.
We need a podcast.
I know. I'm gonna do that next
podcast.
week because then I could like stay home and like never leave and just forget, because what I do with podcasts, I forget people are going to listen to it later. And I just sit here and I feel like it's just us.
It's kind of like
and
Housewives.
It gets me into trouble.
That's why it's successful, though. Those are the ones that are successful. You could set it up in your living room and like do a whole show. No, and I will say, I've had a lot of Housewives on the show. Not everyone is good on a mic.
She's very good. Now we're going to get nailed.
She's very good on a mic.
Well,
you heard her
I'm
here.
gonna start. Where do I start? Where do I buy this equipment?
we're gonna have a conversation.
I need some guidance here.
I'm gonna now pitch you after this is over. So yeah.
Thank you for doing the show.
You,
Thank you.